So, good morning, good afternoon, good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me on another cruising on MD video. I'm your host Salt, and I thank you for tuning in and watching another video. Um, so for everybody out there who's watching my video, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today, and I just want to say to everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday, whatever holiday you guys participate in or celebrate. I hope you guys had a really good New Year. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, this video is a live video, and I'm going to be talking about the GMC trucks that they make, which will be the Chevy Tahoe Suburban, of course. But I won't cover the Suburban. I'll just be covering the smaller size SUVs for GMC, just to kind of make it fair for the other SUVs that I'm going to be covering in this video as well. So it's going to be Chevy Tahoe, GMC Yukon, Cadillac Escalade, I can't say Land Cruiser because they discontinued Land Cruiser in America. So then it's going to be the Toyota Sequoia, what's the other one? The Cadillac, the Range Rover, and the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, and then also the God, I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry, Lexus LX truck. Okay, so let's get into the video. And we will start discussing these trucks. Okay, so depending on where you live in the United States, you might either want a two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. But because I'm doing this video and I live in Florida, we're going to basically base this video on two-wheel drive. Now, some of the vehicles they're going to come with in this video will come with full-time four-wheel drive or four-wheel. So it is what it is. But for this video, we're going to basically focus on two-wheel drive because in Florida it doesn't snow, and I really don't go off-roading. Okay, but we can go and look at some of the off-roading prices for some of the vehicles here that do offer only four-wheel drive and not two-wheel drive, and then you can come to your own conclusion as far as what you would like to pay. Now, I know a lot of people say to me, "Oh, well, why don't you go get a Cadillac Escalade?" Now, I personally don't think Cadillac Escalade is the way to go. I believe in if you were to get these are all 2024 the truck. Now these are going to be anywhere from really nice to like high end. We're going to cover for the SUVs. These are going to be large SUVs. Not really. I wouldn't really call them mid-size. A mid-size SUV to me would be like a 4Runner. Small SUV would be like a Toyota RAV4 or a Highlander. That would be a small. Mid-size for me would be more of a 4Runner. Large SUV would be a Tahoe, Yukon. The extra large SUVs would be like an H1 Hummer or a Suburban or something like that. So, okay, without further ado. So, for 2024, for the Chevys, okay, you have the LT and the RST. The reason why I'm focusing more on the LT and the RST, I think you get more for your money with these particular trucks. Now, if you go with an LS, that's cloth interior. Now, to be honest with you, why go with an LS and you're going to be spending, I would say, when you figure in all the taxes and fees out the door, depending on what state you live in, you're probably going to be tacking on an extra 6 to 10 grand on this manufacturer's price. So let's say you're going to be walking out the door with this truck for about maybe $64,000 probably. If it's an extra $10,000, then you're looking at $60,000 out the door. Again, I'm going to say it again. Depending on what state you live in, your taxes and fees will vary. Okay. So, that being said, I find it really hard to swallow on an LS for that much money, and you got cloth material. That to me is like, what? No, I just have a really hard time. So the reason why I say LT and RST is because I feel you can at least get into the entry level of having a nice vehicle without going to the extreme end of it. Like the extreme end for me would be your Range Rovers. So without going to that extreme, you can get an LT or an RST, and they both come with leather interior. The features they come with are really nice. Now, initially, I was saying to myself, I would get the 3.0 liter Duramax. Here is why I would actually talk against it, because now they're starting to put DEF systems in pickup trucks and SUVs now. I'm highly against that. Now, let me clarify why I'm that. As a truck driver who owns his own trucking company, owning a semi truck with DEF on it, it's extremely expensive. You're always having issues with the fuel management system. You're always having issues with relays. You're always having issues with something that has to do with the fuel system on that truck. Even if it might have been a really reliable truck or brand before the DEF system got introduced, it becomes a problematic vehicle. Now, not everybody has these issues dealing with DEF. Some people are pretty lucky not to have that many issues, and then others aren't so lucky. So, with that being said, I don't like buying a vehicle that I know that's going to be a potential headache for me. So, for that reason, I would stick with a 5.3 liter V8. Now, the manufacturer's suggested price is roughly $63,000 and change. Now, you add another $6,000 on that, let's say 6, 7, 8, 9, you're looking at about, let's call it $70,000 at the door, right? Now, if you tack on another 10 grand, depending on where you live and on what your fees are in whatever state or country, let's say, you're buying it, you're looking at about $73,000 out the door. It's a lot of money. Same thing for your RST. Now, you can either pick the 5.3 with the 5.3s now or aluminum. The older model 5.3s, from what I understand, some of them were cast iron. Much stronger block, can withstand more punishment, okay? Now, from what I understand, from what I read, the 6.0 and 6.2 liter V8 engines are cast iron. Yes, it's more weight on the truck, but the reason why they do them cast iron for their pickup trucks, especially, is because they make it makes the truck, the engine, I should say, not the truck, the engine, more of a heavy duty engine to withstand, a lot of punishment on the motor that the motor would actually come and encounter, with. So you can get a 6.2. You will be spending more money on fuel, not only because of the weight, but you got more liters shooting fuel into the motor. Now, you could go with a 5.3, and you should have more than enough power, and you wouldn't be spending as much on fuel like you would be spending on a 6.2 liter. Now, if you have the extra cash, you don't mind the extra money it's going to cost you to fill it up, then go with a 6.2. You know what I mean? If you wanted to do a step up, which I would recommend, you can go to the GMC, which is a step up from the Chevy Tahoe. Now, what I would do, you can either go with an SLT two-wheel drive or a Denali two-wheel drive. Now, if you say to yourself, you know what, this is not working for me, I gotta have four-wheel drive, you can get the AT4, which comes in four-wheel drive only. They don't make them in two-wheel drive. And these are all nice trucks. Like I said, the engine that they have in the Chevy Tahoe is going to be the exact same engine in the GMC Yukon. They're the same trucks. Even when you go to Cadillac Escalades, it's the same truck, same motors. Okay? I think only difference is that when you go with the Cadillac, they do away with the 5.3 and they stick with the 6.2 liter motor. And then you have the option for the diesel motor if you wanted that for the Escalade. Now, with that being said, I personally would go with the SLT or the Denali. Now, the SLT is fine. I would do a 5.3 SLT and go, walk out the door with that truck, and I'll be good to go. You know what I mean? You're good to go. You'll probably be spending about 70 grand in change out the door with taxes and fees included. Like I said, depending on the state and the country. It might be more, it might be less. Like I said, it all depends. Okay? So that's what I would pick. If I had a little bit extra money and I wanted to say, yeah, let me go and get something a little better, I could stay in the Chevy lineup, and they go down all the way to the high country. High country is as far as you can go. Excuse me, with the Chevy, and with the Chevy, they do only 3.0 liter Duramax and the 6.2 liter V8, which is what they do for their Cadillacs. So it's, like I said, it's a GMC product. You could do that, but you're going into the $80,000 price range. I think it's a lot of money to spend for a Chevy Tahoe. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how nice you make it; it's still a fucking Tahoe, bro. I don't know. It's just a lot of money. 80 grand. It's a lot to swallow for a Tahoe. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this here you're looking at about in the early to mid 70s to buy one of these outdoor 2-wheel drive. Now, of course, if you're buying a 4-wheel drive, of course you're gonna tack on money for that. Okay. Let me see. Let me look at my notes real quick here. Let me see if I have any information on that. So yeah, so with the for the Chevy Tahoe, for the LT and the RST, for a 4-wheel drive LT, you're looking at $67,695. And for the RST, if you wanted to get that in 4-wheel drive, you're looking at $73,115. So, like I said, my thing is this: do you really need 4-wheel drive? And if you did need 4-wheel drive, why not just go with the Z71 Chevy? I mean, seriously, you still get all the features you get in the RST. You'll get the backup camera. Let's see what we'll go through the details, and let's see what the details say. We can get it to pull up. Hold on, let's do the RST. Let's see if it pulls up the RST. My internet is acting a little funky, guys, so just bear with me, please. So yeah, you still get leather interior. You're still going to get your navigation system. You're still going to get your 20-inch wheels. You see what I'm saying? So you're pretty much getting all the same things, but you're not going to be in the $80,000 price range. Okay, so in fact, do get the available adaptive air ride suspension if you wanted that. What else you get? You get the recovery hooks for the front, so they'll tie onto the front, like if you need to recover something. Let's see what else you get here. You get the all-terrain black wall tires, black assist steps. You get the black roof mounted side rails. Let's see. That's it for the Z71. Let's see for the RST. So for the RST, black roof, yeah, it's pretty much the same equipment, bro. I don't see any difference. Next one is the LT. So with the LT, you get the Chevy infotainment 3 premium system with connected navigation and a 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen. Nice. You get the inside rear view auto dimming mirror. You get your wireless charging. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto capability for compatible phones. You get your Bose 9-speaker stereo system there. You get a 10-inch diagonal color driver information center there. You get your hands-free power liftgate with emblem projection, which it projects the Chevy emblem on the ground. You get your body-colored door handles. Let's see, what else you get here? You get universal home remote, that's common in every vehicle now. So, I mean, this is what you're getting for in your LT. And your LT, you get the 5.3 V8 motor, and you're spending at least 70,000. You'll probably spend maybe 73. Not bad, okay? For a truck, not bad. You know, it's a nice truck. It's decent because I have the LT, it's an older model LT Chevy Tahoe, and it rides nice because the suspension that's on these trucks is going to be the same when your base model kind of gets delayed. Okay. You might say, well, I don't want to spend 70,000 on that. Let's go to something else. Okay, so you got your GMC SLT. Okay. And this is your two-wheel drive. So your two-wheel drive, you're spending about 70 grand. That's probably going to be more in the mid 70s with this one. So you're spending a little bit more money on this truck. What do you get with this truck for in the mid 70s? Well, let's see. Let's see what you get. Okay. So for this, it's pretty much the same stuff that you get. Heated and ventilated driver and passenger seats. Okay. What else do we get here? You get your GMC Pro Safety Plus. So your Safety Plus is going to let you know when cars are coming around you, what's around you. Driver memory seats. Okay. Like I said, it's pretty much the same stuff that you get in there with the Tahoe. Only difference is your GMC Pro Safety Plus. So let's see exactly what GMC Pro Safety Plus is. Your GMC Pro Safety Plus, your lane change alert, and it comes with blind zone alert. It comes with lane keep assist with lane departure warning. It also comes with your rear cross traffic alert. The traffic that's coming across of you, it lets you know, hey, listen, easy there, killer, something's coming. Automatic emergency braking, which that's nothing new for me. For me, they had that in semi trucks. I think they started that in like 2000 or 2000, and I would say maybe 6, or I could say maybe 2022. I don't know, but I know they had it for a while in semi trucks. But what that is a sensor in the front bumper, and the sensor knows to keep a certain amount of distance between the vehicle in front of you or whatever's in front of you and your vehicle. So if something crosses in front of it and maybe you're, doing something stupid like you're on your phone, that sensor will sense that, hey, listen, you got to hit this thing, and it automatically put the brakes on and stop the vehicle. Okay? So that is also nice. So it helps to prevent you from getting in an accident. Very nice feature. Forward collision alert, rear park assist, following distance indicator. Following distance indicator, it's self-explanatory. It just lets you know you're following distance and to keep your distance with the person in front of you or whatever. Front pedestrian braking, Intel beam. So basically what this does, these drivers are going to help you to drive safer. Now it doesn't replace common sense. You have to still have common sense. You have to be a rational thinking person. So if you have common sense and you're using these driver aids, they're going to just help you become a better driver. And I know that there's a lot of people on the road today driving who have Roccone's disease, which is a disease in the eyes. There are also people who also have, I forget what the disease is called, but it causes you to have seizures and blank out while you're at the wheel. I don't know why some states allow people to actually have a driver's license with that kind of disease. But if you were in one of these vehicles and you have these features in it, and let's say you blanked out, because it does emergency braking, it should be able to take control of the vehicle to an extent and help you to either slow the vehicle down or, brake it, where you can, not be such a risk on the road, I feel. Could be wrong, but they will help you to actually become a better driver. You know, especially if you're driving and let's say you have a seizure and somebody's in front of you. You can't brake because you're in the middle of a seizure. The vehicle sees that there's somebody in front of you and it will apply the brakes. So that is a good thing. I've known in the past when I was in high school that I had a friend of mine, an Italian friend of mine, he had these seizures. Whenever he would drive his car, he would drove into these seizures and the car would skip the road and take out a whole bunch of stuff. At least with something like this, it can help you minimize these risks. Okay? Now, I know in this list, Ford is not here. I don't like Ford. I'm only covering vehicles that I like. Now, if you want me to cover Ford, like the Expedition or the Lincoln Navigator, I mean, if you think my selections are biased, so be it. I can do another one, which will include the Lincoln Navigator and the Ford Expedition. I just chose not to do them. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like them. Okay, so I'm covering what I like and what I think is a good quality vehicle. These are pretty good quality vehicles. I don't find them anything wrong with them. The only bad thing I can say about the GMC products, fit and finish is not the best. Not the best when it comes to fit and finish. So with that being said, let's move on to the next one. So our next, well, actually, you know what? Let's stay in the let's stay in this price range. So the next one for this price range will be your Toyota Sequoias. Okay, 2024. Everything here is 2024. Now, what I will say about the Sequoia is this. The Sequoia is now the top dog for Toyota large SUVs. Okay, they used to have the Toyota Land Cruiser. The problem with the Toyota Land Cruiser, it was just taking the shine away from everybody, even from the Lexus LX. Okay, because the reality is that you can get a fully loaded Toyota Land Cruiser, okay, and it would be just as good as a Lexus LX, which is their big dog for their Lexus. This is the big dog for Lexus, which is a Toyota brand. Okay, so they did away with that in America, as far as I know. I don't know in other countries if it's still running, but I know in America they did away with it. Okay, now in the early years of the Land Cruiser, which I'll make a video for the Land Cruiser, they did V6 motors. You know, they did V6 motors in the Land Cruiser, and then they went to the V8s. Okay, they gave it more power. Then they came out somewhere along the line with the Sequoia, okay, which was supposed to be like another option to your large SUVs. It wasn't as big as the Land Cruiser, but it was much bigger than, say, like a RAV4. Okay, RAV4 has been around longer than the Highlander. Okay, so it was something like that. The engine that was in the Sequoias, okay, it was the same engine as the Toyota Tundra. So the same engine that was in the Sequoia was the same engine as the Tundra, which was the big V8 motor. Now, in the beginning of this Sequoia lifespan or life, they did a V6 motor. You had an option for V6 or V8. Then they did away with the V6 motor, and then they said they just did V8. And it was, like I said, the same motor as the Tundra. And then now you have the Sequoias, and they're only twin turbo V6s to make up for the V8 that they had. They just put a twin turbo in it, so they figured out, okay, you have a V6, it's going to be a lighter motor, it's going to be better on fuel, and then the twin turbos will make up for the lack of power that you will be missing from the V8. Okay, so moving on. So these three vehicles I selected from Toyota, which is the Limited, the Platinum, and the TRD Pro. Now, like I said, we're just doing two-wheel drive. But if you had to get a four-wheel drive vehicle, you could always get a TRD Pro. Okay? Now, prices on these, what are the prices on these? So for your Platinum, well, let's start with this. For your Platinum, actually Limited, let's do Limited. So for your Limited, you're looking brand new. This is manufacturer's suggested retail price of $67,000 and change for your Limited Sequoia. And then your platinum Sequoia, you're looking at 73,000 and change. For the TRD Pro, you're looking at 79,000 and change. Now, again, this is just manufacturers' suggested retail price of what they think that the vehicle should be sold for. Now, of course, when you go to the dealership, it will be higher than, more than likely, than what you see here. Some dealerships might tack on extra fees and so on and so forth. That's why I said, let's go with $6,000 to $10,000. Tack on to these prices, depending on the state you live in or country you live in, it might be more or less. So you're limited, which you're starting off with. You tack on about $6,000 to that price or 10 grand. You're looking at the mid 70s for something like that. It's not bad because you do get, well, I shouldn't say you get leather. You get soft tack. Now, a lot of you guys might say to me, what the hell is soft tack? What the fuck is that? So let me give you the definition of what soft tack is. So soft tack is an artificial material made from a thermoplastic and a blend of polyurethane materials. So it's a synthetic material made to look like leather. Now, a lot of you guys remember back in the days, we had something that was called vinyl. You got a vinyl seat. It was designed to look like leather. Now we have this soft tack. Okay. Now, the reason why they came up with this is because they said there's a lot of people that don't want to buy vehicles with leather interior because of the animal. Okay, whatever. So now they got a soft tack. So now you can get your soft tack in it that looks like leather, but it's not leather, and you don't have to feel guilty about killing animals. Some of these people should go take a jump in the lake, bro. Like, seriously. I mean, come on. Anyway, moving on. So your limited comes with the soft tack. Your platinum comes with leather. Your TRD comes with soft tack. Okay. Me personally, I would go, if I wanted leather and not the stupid soft tack, I would go with the platinum. So now your platinum, you're going to be looking, see, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you're going to be looking in the low 80s. A lot of money for that. If you wanted actual leather, if you could live with the soft tack, then you can do with the limited Sequoia and be like in the mid 70s. Okay. You know, early to mid 70s, depending on the state and country. Tier D, of course, if you live in a state that requires four-wheel drive, or if you are an off-road guy, you want to go off-road, okay, go and do Tier D. But here's my thing. I think it's stupid to spend this kind of money on a vehicle when you're taking it off-road. Because if anybody has done any kind of off-roading knows that off-roading can be hard on your vehicle. The body, you know, the paint, the vehicle, period. Okay? And I think it's kind of stupid if you're going to be spending $70,000 to $80,000 on a vehicle, you're going to take it off-road. Like, what are you doing? For that, you might as well get something that you are comfortable with, the body getting scraped up, the, you know, body panels getting damaged, so on and so forth. I wouldn't be okay with that, especially spending something in the $70,000 to $80,000 range or more. Taking it off road, no. Maybe light off-roading, maybe once in a blue moon. Okay, I'll be fine with that. But yeah, and I'm not okay with taking my brand new vehicle off-road. Are you crazy? No. So this is your Toyota Sequoia. So these are prices here for this. Like I said, they have the soft tech. Not a fan of soft tech. You get pretty much the same kind of stuff you would get in your GMC and your Tahoe. Of course, you get your wireless charging, your leather wrap shifter, and all that other jazz. You know. One thing I will say about the Sequoia that I will not say about the GMC products. You know, your Yukon and your Toyota. Your Yukon and your Toyota, the Tahoe and your Escalade is that at least with the Tahoe, at least with the Sequoia, you at least get better build quality, in my opinion. You know, from what I've seen, even the older model Toyota trucks, better build quality. If you look at an older model Toyota, let's say Land Cruiser, nice. If you look at an older model, say Chevy Tahoe, it's sad, the build quality. You know, you can go back as far as the 2000 or go back as far as the 2020. Build quality bad, real bad. You could do the same thing in a Toyota Sequoia or a Toyota Land Cruiser. Build quality is nice. You can go look at a 1998 Land Cruiser, and that shit is solid as hell, bro. Nice build quality in it. Dashboards, everything. Can't say that in a GMC product, unfortunately. Okay. Now let's go and step it up to your more higher end vehicles. And we're going to start off with a GMC product, which is your Cadillac Escalade. Now, Cadillac Escalade, this thing is starting at 113, let's call it $114,000 for this truck. And that's your base model Escalade, okay? And it's two-wheel drive. Now, you can get it with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and the price jumps up like crazy. I mean, this one here, it's a 2024 Escalade, okay? The V, all-wheel drive, they want $156,000, $935. Now listen to me. This is manufacturer suggested price. Now, more than likely at a dealership, you're probably looking at least $160 for this truck. I'm not paying $160 for this truck, no matter how much money I have in the bank. I could have, $10 million. I'm not paying $160 for this. No freaking way. No freaking way. Not at all. Now, what I will say about this truck, if you wanted to get a Cadillac Escalade, I will more recommend this for somebody who was running like a livery company. Like in New York, where I'm from New York, they have a lot of taxi service companies that drive, town cars, Cadillac DeVilles, Escalades. Now, I would do it for something like that, because at least doing something like that, I can write off the price of the truck. I can write off the price of the maintenance for the truck. And on top of that, I would actually do diesel, because it actually comes with an option for a diesel motor. Where are the options here? So it comes here with a 6.2 liter V8, but you can get the optional 3.0 liter diesel motor. It does have that option for it. I don't see here the options. We'll see the options if it'll pull it up for me. So the reason why I would do that, because even when the DEF system goes down, all this is tax write-off, because you're using this vehicle as a business. So you would use this truck. Let's see what this thing comes with. Okay, you have all-weather integrated floor mats, all-weather floor mats, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about floor mats? Let's see what else we got here. Cargo, badging. So you get a power retractable assisted steps with LED perimeter lighting. Oh, okay, well, whatever. For almost $2,000. Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. But yeah, I don't see it here, but I know they do have the option. I was looking at this earlier, and I know you do have that as an option. Okay, here we go. Here it is. So right here, 3.0 liter Duramax turbo diesel engine, 10-speed automatic transmission. Okay, you do get the 3.0 liter motor, which is a diesel motor. The reason why I say that is because fuel economy for diesels are much better than gas. Okay, and if you're going to be driving this as a like a taxi, diesel will be much better than gas. 100%, because your other option is a 6.2 liter V8 engine. Now, for me personally, if I was going to run it as a business where I was picking up, only reason why I would get something like this if I was doing a where I was picking up valuable clients. For example, I was doing, picking up high-end clients like movie stars, entertainers, or very wealthy people, right? I'll buy this truck as my business, and this will be the thing I pick you up with, at the airport, business meetings, and so on and so forth with the diesel motor. Because diesels, they run for a long time. I mean, you get 100,000 miles on a diesel and you're just breaking it in. At 100,000 miles on a diesel motor, there's nothing. So that's why I would do the diesel, because they're designed to run and get high miles on them without really, having much issues or being fatigued. The gasoline motor, not so. Some of these gasoline motors, when you start getting to the 100,000 mile range, they're pretty worn. They've been broken in already, because a gasoline motor, you're probably, depending on the car and the engine, you're probably broke it in around 50,000, 40,000. You're just breaking it in. 100,000 miles, it's a lot. A lot of things are going to be worn now. Whereas a diesel, it's much stronger. Motors are more heavy duty. Okay, and I would bet you any amount of money that the motor on that is a cast iron block, 3.0 liter. Yeah, I'm almost, because diesel motors are usually iron blocks. I've never heard of an aluminum diesel motor. Now there might be one out there that I don't know of, but I've never heard of one. Okay, so that's what I would do. I would get like a base model Cadillac Escalade. There's no reason to go and get a $160,000 Escalade to do what? To do that service? What's the point? I mean, if you need all-wheel drive, then you get all-wheel drive. But if you don't need it, then why get it? You know what I'm saying? And you can use it as your business. It would be a nice truck to shuttle people around. Okay, going up. We're just going up and up in prices here. Next one will be your Lexus LX 600. So the 600 is starts with the LX 600, then you go to the premium, you go to the F Sport, and then there's also a 600 Ultra Luxury for $133,000. No, thank you. The F Sport gives you more sporty handling. That's another thing I have an issue with. Why would you buy an SUV that's got like 600 horsepower, 800 horsepower? What are you gonna do with an SUV that goes that fast? Are you gonna go on a racetrack with it and race Corvettes and Ferraris? Come on, that's stupid. It makes no sense. To me, it makes absolutely no sense. I don't know. But anyway, that's just my opinion. That's just me. So yeah, I would get an LX 600 if I had an extra cash to buy something that much more luxurious. I would go with the Lexus. I wouldn't even go with a Cadillac. The price tag on that is too high. So something like this, you're going to be looking for your entry level, if you want to call it an entry level, LX 600. You're looking at $100,000. For the premium one, you're going to be looking at probably at $106,000, maybe $110,000 out the door for that. Like I said, my justification on this is based on where you live. So I'm just averaging, guesstimating. It'll be different in whatever state or country you live in. Okay, it might be more or less. Now, if I wanted an everyday vehicle, I would get this. I would never go get a Cadillac Escalade for an everyday vehicle. The price tag is way too high. Yes, this is almost as high as that, spending $100,000. But if you're spending $100,000 out the door for that, the Cadillac truck is $114,000. You haven't included the fees tacked onto that, which will bring it up probably close to $120,000, if not at that point. You're still looking probably at what, $14,000 to $20,000 more for the Cadillac Escalade, for a base model Cadillac Escalade. Why spend $14,000 to $20,000 more? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, depending on the state and everything. Because like when I bought my Mercedes, I bought an S500 Mercedes some years ago, and I bought it in Michigan, and at the dealership there, it was I guess you call it pre-owned car, and the amount of taxes they were tacking on to that vehicle, it wasn't brand new, it was used, pre-owned. The amount of taxes they were tacking on to that vehicle was insane. And then when they gave me the bill, I was like, what? I was like, no, that's wrong. And then when I told them, I said, look, I live in Florida. They're like, oh, okay. They start taking up all taxes and stuff and fees. So that's why I say, depending on the state you live in and depending on the country you live in, your price might be more or less. Okay? Now, this is a good vehicle. The only reason why I personally wouldn't buy it, because the front is ugly as sin. Like, what was Toyota thinking about when they made the front grille for their Lexus truck look like this? And the funny thing is that they make this ugly fucking grille on every fucking vehicle they got. Every vehicle, they got this ugly grille. I can understand it was only on a couple of them, but no. They said, oh yeah, we're going to put it on all the vehicles. What were you thinking, Toyota? Seriously. I think they really need to change the front grille on these Lexus trucks and some of their Lexus vehicles. Because it's ugly, man. I just can't justify me buying something like this that I don't like 100%. I got to buy a vehicle and I got to look at it and say every day, and I got to say, you know what? I like this vehicle. This shit looks nice. It's not sexy. It's not beautiful. It's not cute. Okay? Interior looks nice. Side looks nice. Back looks nice. The front. What the fuck, bro? What is that supposed to be? You know? It was ugly. Anyway, that's what I would do. And like I said, Toyota, they're doing their V6 motors. So even in their Lexus trucks, they have V6. Because this is also a twin turbo V6 motor in it. Like I said, they're doing away with their V8s. They're trying to be more fuel efficient. You know? So if you're looking for a V8, you might as well look at the American vehicles, because the only vehicles you're going to find will be with a V8 will be the American vehicles or maybe the Germans, the European vehicles. They'll have V8s, but the Asians vehicles are V6s, especially this one, because this is their big boy SUV. This is, you don't get any bigger than the LX as far as I know. And for their large SUV, they're looking at a V6. Now, to compensate for the lack of power for not having the V8, they're doing a twin turbo. So they're hoping that the twin turbo will have enough power to power this V6 motor where you won't really miss the V8 engine that usually comes in the LX. Now, when they started bringing out the LXs, they originally started with a V6, but it wasn't a twin turbo. And the V6 LX in the beginning, which I think was like a 430 or 450. I forget what the model was back then. But it really struggled with power because they had the V6 motor and it was a big truck. So they did away with it back then, and then they put a V8 in it. Okay, I'm talking about around, I'm going to say the late 90s, early 2000s. They did away with the V6 and put the V8 in it. And then ever since then, it was a V8. Now I see they went back to the V6, but instead of making just a V6, they made it with a twin turbo, hoping that this will give it enough power so you won't miss that V8 motor, because that's what V8 motors have. They have the power and stuff like that. But maybe the twin turbo. Like I said, I haven't driven one, so I don't know if it makes up for it or not. I can't say. But this would be the option. If you like the front end of these vehicles, then more power to you. Then go and get it. If you have the cash, go get it. If not, then I would stay away from it. Okay. Next on the list, I'm gonna skip over that one for right now, and we're gonna go to the G-Wagon. The G-Wagon is a viable option too as well. Now, you only have two options. They used to have more options than this, but because the G-Wagon and I would say the H1 Hummer, which they don't make anymore, I believe they discontinued it if I remember correctly in 2006, 2007. Buying a G-Wagon or an H1 Hummer, these are for a select group of people because these trucks are so boxy. Now, not everybody's going to like the boxy shape on these trucks. So that's why I say it's for a select few of individuals. Okay? Now, they ride nice. There's nothing wrong with the way they ride. They ride nice. The off-road capabilities are amazing because they used to be military vehicles for Germany. Okay? The off-road vehicle, very nice. Interior, the four-wheel drive system, amazing. And what I like about the G-Wagon's all-wheel drive system is that you can pick between front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive. So they actually give you those three options, or I think 3 or 4 options where you can pick on how you would like the power to be delivered. Okay. Now, before it was a G500, it wasn't G550. It was a G500, and then it was the AMG model to the 500, and then you had the G600, and then the AMG model to that. So you had like 4 models. So they said, well, let's slim it down, because they realized, I'm assuming Mercedes realized that they're not as popular as some of the other SUVs they sell, because like I said, these are for a select group of people who like these. So they only give you 2 options. You get the G550, which is not an AMG model, and it's a 4.0 liter V8 bi-turbo, or you get your AMG 63, okay, which is a 4.0 liter V8 bi-turbo as well, but it's an AMG motor, so it's got more power to it, which is interesting because the 63 used to be a V12. It wasn't a V8. It was never a V8. The 6 was always a V12, even if you bought the G-Wagon G600, it was a V12. And then when you went to the AMG or 65 back then, it was like a bi-turbo V12 or something like that, some crazy thing like that. But now you get the same motor that's in the G550, but I'm assuming it's more power, which it is, because the G550, they made it with less power, so you only get 416 horsepower, whereas with the G63 SUV, you get 577 horsepower. So it's the same motor, same V bi-turbo, only they tuned it with more horsepower. In a way, I'm kind of feeling a little cheated with this, because I'm expecting a V12 in it, like it usually comes. But like I said, nowadays, all these companies are on this, like, let's save fuel kind of a thing. Let's save money for this fuel, and these tree huggers are coming after these companies, and the way things are today is bad. Like, it's just bad, because that thing with a V12 motor in it, oh my God, that thing is a fucking beast. It's a beast. Now it's got a V8 bi-turbo. I don't know. Not really feeling it. Now let's go to our next one and last one. Range Rover Big Boy. I used to have this, not the new ones, but the older ones. So these here, you're starting at $170,000. These here are different. They're not the standard wheelbase one. These are your long wheelbase one. You can fit like about 7 passengers in the one, right? Depending on how on the size of people. If you got small people, you can probably squeeze in like people, So this is your long wheelbase one. So you have the Range Rover Autobiography, which starts at $170,000. Okay, and this is your manufacturer suggested retail price. Then you can go to your Range Rover SV, $234,000. That's house money right there. Well, like I said, depending on where you live. If it's California, that's not house money. Okay, that's probably apartment money. But so $234,000. Then you have the Range Rover SE, which is $113,000. Then you have another Range Rover SE. This is your P530 all-wheel drive, and that's the P400. So the P530 Range Rover SE is going for $136,000 and change. So, and you got this one is biography. This is $168. So the most expensive one you got here is your Range Rover SE, okay, which is your P6.5, and it goes for $234,000. Like I said, this is only manufacturer suggested retail price. You tack on another $6,000 to $10,000 on it, and that $200,000 is going to look like more like $240,000, maybe $250,000. You know what I mean? If you put any extra options on it, you know what I mean? So yeah. Again, this I would never buy for my personal use. I learned my lesson with owning a Range Rover. It was a hard lesson, and it was an expensive lesson for me. But I learned my lesson, and what I've learned is something like this. You only own it if you have a lot of money, or if you're using it as a business. So if you're using it as a business and you're picking up clients, then you would make sense. I would probably go with your let's see, that's 170, that's 113. I would probably go with your Range Rover SE. Probably that long wheelbase, 7 seats, P400, all-wheel drive, automatic. So I would more than likely go with something like this. It's $113,000. Or let's see, what's the next one? 113. Okay, well maybe so either one of the SCs. So this is the P400 or the P530. So either one of these I would go with the business. If I was going to do a business where I was picking up high-end clients. So anything I was doing a business where I picked up high-end clients, I would do the Range Rover SE, either one of the SEs. I would go with a Cadillac Escalade. So these are vehicles that I would not own, like personal, as like my personal vehicle. They just are too expensive, not only to buy, but the maintenance is crazy. And I'm speaking from experience owning a Range Rover. Okay, very, very expensive, and it's just too much money to own for personal vehicle. Now, if you're a wealthy person and you have money to just a few $100 to spend, then fine. When I owned my Range Rover, it was always $1,000 and more, $2,000 and more going to the dealership. I never once spent less than $1,000 or $2,000 at a dealership, at a Land Rover dealership. Seriously, owning this thing, I remember when my transfer case went, and the dealership charged me, I think it was like $6,000 at the dealership to replace the transfer case on this Range Rover. $6,000 for a transfer case. I was lucky enough to know the head mechanic at the Land Rover dealership, and he worked on cars, on the side, and he was willing to do it for like $5,000. So I got $5,000. It's $1,000 less. Got it done, and we're back on the road. But like I said, it's pricey. But if you're gonna buy one of these, I would do it either if you have money like that, or if you're using it as for your business, picking up wealthy clients. So it's the Range Rover SE and the Cadillac Escalade. That's what I do. My personal vehicle, me personally, if I were gonna buy something now, which I would never buy anything brand new. The reason why is because buying brand new, you actually are you're a sucker if you buy brand new. That's just my personal opinion. Buying brand new means you're a sucker. The reason why I feel that you're a sucker buying brand new is because the amount of money you lose in that vehicle once you drive it off the lot is crazy. The depreciation is extremely steep on a vehicle you drive off the lot, especially if it's a Range Rover. G-Wagon, not so much. The G-Wagons, they pretty much hold their value really good. The Sequoias hold their value really good, but you do get a good depreciation from it. So me personally, if I was going to in the market and I was going to buy something now, I would buy it pre-owned and used. That way, a lot of the depreciation would have hit already, and I wouldn't feel that bad buying something like that. And then I could also get an additional warranty on it from a pre-owned vehicle from the dealership, And like I said, you just have to do your homework on them, and it all depends on what you want to get, whether it's the Denali or whatever. I'm not telling you guys what to buy. I'm just giving you some food for thought. I'm just giving you my advice. I'm giving you my opinions on this, and hopefully listening to this video, looking at this video, it kind of gives you food for thought and makes you think, hey, listen, this might not be a good idea. Maybe I should do it this way, or maybe I should do it that way. You know what I mean? Now, if you want to go a brand new vehicle and you want to be the first one into it and you want to go take that hit, go ahead. But I will tell you, that's not me. I wouldn't do it. So, with that being said, like I said, I love cars. Okay, and this is fun for me. You know, I used to own my own body shop in Connecticut, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I had one down here in Florida. And I've been around cars for many years, and I've made a lot of mistakes owning cars, buying cars, and I just hope with making these videos that you kind of learn from my mistakes, and hopefully you guys don't make the mistakes I've made over the years with owning vehicles and buying vehicles. Excuse me. That's why I'm giving you this advice. Like I said, it was a hard lesson. I had nobody to give me advice. I didn't have internet like that because back in the time when I was growing up, the internet really wasn't a thing like that. It was starting to come out and it was starting to get known, but it really wasn't um, something big like it is now. Okay, so there was nobody to advise me. There was nobody to give me advice. But I've owned a Range Rover, and I've owned quite a few Range Rovers, different generations, the first and second generations of Range Rovers. So I have that experience on them. Now, don't get me wrong, they're really fucking nice trucks. I don't know any other truck that rides nicer than a Range Rover and can go off road as nice as a Range Rover can. There is none on the road right now. Now, don't get me wrong, Land Cruisers and the G-Wagons, they are nice trucks, but the Range Rover is where it's at. Now, I know that Rolls-Royce and Bentley, they're making SUVs. I think it's just a gimmick. I just think they're just trying to get extra customers and make extra money and stuff like that. But listen, stick to making your luxury cars, bro, and leave the SUV market to the ones who are professionals at it. You guys are not professionals at it, okay? When has Bentley or Rolls-Royce ever made an SUV in their history? I don't know of any. Whereas Land Rover, they've always been making SUVs from day one. And their SUVs are amazing. Okay? G-Wagons, they've been the same from day one. You know, I mean, you can go track their history back from, I think, I'm going to say maybe the 50s or 40s, probably. You know, which that's another video I'll be coming out with soon. You can track them way back. Whereas Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Porsche, Lamborghini, they haven't. I mean, well, Lamborghini has made a vehicle. They made an SUV. Their first SUV Lamborghini made was in the 70s or 80s, I believe. Okay, but that was like way back when it was like an LM something or another. And then they made that truck, and then they just fell off the scene, and all of a sudden they came back. You know, but yeah, like, I mean, Chevy, or I should say GMC, they've been making the Tahoe for decades now. I mean, they've been on the scene for forever as far as large SUVs, especially their Suburban. They've been on the scene forever. And then Ford decided to make their excursion to compete with the Suburban, you know? So yeah, like GMC has been making that Chevy Tahoe for decades and decades now. So they've been on the scene for a while. And then Toyota has been on the scene for a while with their whatchamacallit, their Land Cruiser. They've been there for a while too, until they recently discontinued it in America. Okay, Cadillac is pretty recent. They only came on the scene, I would say, maybe between the late 90s and maybe early 2000s. They came on the scene, the Cadillac Escalade, because they weren't around for a long time, you know. So their Cadillac Escalade is pretty recent. If you compare it to all the other grandfather trucks on the team, you know, like the Range Rover, the G-Wagon, the Land Cruiser, the Chevy Tahoe. These are all grandfathers. They've been here for forever, you know. So yeah, me personally, if I was gonna spend my money right now to buy something, I probably more than likely I would go with the RST. Either the RST or the LT, you know, if I'm going to spend my money on a nice truck. Now, I'm not a fan of American vehicles because of their build quality, But if I'm spending my money on something, I would put my money on something like that. Or I would go with the GMC SLT. And then what I would probably do, get it pre-owned and then switch the grill for the Denali grill. Take the Denali grill and put it on that. Because I like the way the Denali grill looks without paying Denali price. Because Denali price, let's see, that's $66,000. Call it 70-something thousand for an SLT. And then for the Denali, you're looking at about 80,000. So you're looking about close to like a $10,000 difference almost. If you really do the math, 78,000 compared to if you do that one, it's not going to be 66. So that's 78. So let's call that 80. And let's call that 70. That's $10,000 difference. $10,000 is a lot of money that I can do with something. I could do something else with. So why am I going to spend an extra $10,000 to buy a Denali or close to it for check out the Denali? Like, I'm good, bro. I just want the grill. You know, I could do the grill off and put it on there and call it a day, bro. You know what I mean? For 70 grand, I'm good. I'm good. I'll rock that all day long for 70 grand. For 70 grand, hell yeah. 70 grand all day long, I'd rock that. So I would say fuck the Tahoe and get the GMC SLT two-wheel drive because I live in Florida. I don't have to deal with snow or anything like that. And I don't go off-roading. And if I were going to go off-roading, I wouldn't be doing it in a truck like that. Or we're going to go off-roading and I wanted to really go off-roading and get something that was serious off-roading, I would probably get an older model Defender, or I would probably get a military H1 Hummer, or a Humvee as they would call it, or some sort of military vehicle where I can use for off-roading only. But I mean, even if you know, have to go off-road some of the times, the two-wheel drive would be fine. Because where my place is in Cala, you know, it is off-road. You know, it's not, there's no paved road there. There's dirt road. And you have to go off-roading on it. Now, anything serious that you need four-wheel drive for, you get something that you need four-wheel drive for. You know, and how often do you need four-wheel drive? Not often. You know what I mean? Two-wheel drive would be perfectly fine. Unless you live in an area that requires four-wheel drive, then if that's the case, you get four-wheel drive. That's all I gotta say, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, you see the price. It's 73. So you'd be in the mid-70s. You know what I mean? For an AT4. AT4s are good. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is that, listen, the way the economy is today, we need to be really careful and we need to be really smart in how we spend our money. You know, maybe before the economy was the way it was, and before we encountered the coronavirus and everything went to kind of shit, then yeah, we would have excess of money. But if you're not in that category, we will have money just to splurge and just to squander, it'd still be okay. If we were in another coronavirus pandemic, and you would be okay, do what the fuck you want to do with your money, bro. So what I'm saying is that we need to plan for the worst. Because when the coronavirus hit, yo, we were hurting. I mean, even now, we still got a lot of people who are homeless, who don't have a job because of the coronavirus. They lost their homes, they lost everything. You know, and those people who bought brand new cars, car payments, and you were asked to fuck out, bro. You know? But like I said, this is what I would do. Now, if I were to buy it, I would pay cash. I don't like buying vehicles and having monthly payments on it. I always believe if I can't put down cash on a vehicle and walk away with it, then that vehicle's not for me. That's just my personal opinion. That's my view on it. I don't buy vehicles, passenger vehicles, and go get monthly payments on it. Because you can drive that fucker off the lot today, and then a week later, that shit will be totaled. You fucked. You there with a monthly car payment. At least if you buy cash, you can insure the value of the truck. So if the value of the truck, let's say you buy it pre-owned and it's valued at $60,000, you can insure the value of that truck. So in the case there's something that bad that happens to that vehicle, you could be made somewhat whole. Maybe not 100%, but you can be made somewhat whole. Now, my semi truck, with the Volvo, I had two trucks. I have my Peterbilt 587 semi truck, and I had a Volvo. The Volvo semi truck, it was a VNL 780. I had insurance to cover me in case of loss. Now, there was a monthly payment on it. Yes, the truck is like Volvo trucks. You're looking at $170,000. I'm not coming up with $170,000 buying a truck. Of course, you're gonna, have a monthly payment on it, right? But the insurance was in the way where when I got into an accident with that truck, even though I had no monthly payment, the insurance covered the monthly payments. So I was made whole. Where a lot of people don't have insurances like that, or don't have second insurances like that, will cover them in case of an accident. So in the event you do have monthly payments, you can say, well, look, I got this money here from the insurance company, or I got this, so this will wipe out the car payments, and I'm good. You see what I'm saying? This is why I believe in buying the vehicles cash. If I don't have that $70,000 cash on me to buy it, I ain't buying it. Or $60,000 because I buy pre-owned. So if I'm buying a pre-owned, spending, what is that? Say about $70,000 and change. More than likely, I'm going to be spending $60,000, maybe $65,000 used pre-owned with it, and I still get a warranty on it, just like you get when you buy it brand new. And I have the option with the money that I'm saving to go and buy an extended warranty on top of the warranty I have there on the truck. So I'm covered like you won't believe. You know what I'm saying? So I go spend what, $66,000 for a used one, pre-owned. If brand new, you're gonna spend about $70,000 and change. So a used one, pre-owned, you will spend $66,000, for a pre-owned one. Okay. Like I said, this is MRP. It shows you $66,000 for this, but this is the manufacturer's. I highly doubt you would pay $66,000 at a dealership. Okay, highly doubt it. If you're spending $66,000 on a dealership, then I know I'll probably get it for $40,000 or $50,000. That's still a big fucking savings to me, bro. Because it still was pre-owned. It's pre-owned. A pre-owned truck could be a 2024 truck, and somebody drove for 6 months, and then returned it to the dealership. That would be considered pre-owned. Pre-owned also can be a vehicle that is on the lot that was from last year, a 2023. Maybe it wasn't sold, and some dealerships might say, sell it, and say, well, discount it for me, and I'll still probably get it at that price too. If it's a last year's vehicle, or it could be a vehicle, last year's vehicle that somebody returned, and it has, say, maybe 10,000 miles on it. Still fucking good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they might sell it as a pre-owned vehicle, or classify it, or reduce the price if the vehicle was damaged in storage. They'll sell it at a reduced price because they know they can't sell it at full price. Most of the time, if that happens, they'll usually sell it at an auction. Because I know that there's times when they have vehicles that get damaged in transport or while it's in the lot. Accidents happen. You can't, once there's damage on it and it has to be repaired, you can't sell it as a brand new vehicle. Sell it as you could sell it as a new vehicle, but at a reduced price, and you can sell it as a pre-owned vehicle. Either one, it's up to the dealership what they choose to do at that point. For me personally, is what I would buy. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my 2 cents right now. And I thank you guys for joining me on this video, and I hope to see you guys. Next time, and I hope everything is good for you guys in this new year. And I just want to say peace, guys, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Okay, peace, love.